Hello, 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 and welcome. My goodness, I am so happy to be here. Those of you, my name is Beverly Fells Jones. I'm an author, a speaker, a seminar leader, and a podcaster, of course. On this show, I talk about how to expand your world of thought. I explore the world of positive thinking. I talk about the law of attraction and consciousness from many points of view, including Bible based. I intend to share with you information that will enlighten and empower you in your life. I'm here to encourage you to think in the positive and show that miracles can happen. I truly believe you have been given the power of word and thought to create the life you desire. And I want to welcome everyone to today's episode of my podcast. It has been almost a year since I uploaded and recorded anything on this channel. And there was a reason for that. It's called, well, some people will call it writer's block. But for me, it was called trying to figure out what my core message needed to be because I had gotten away from that. I had decided, looking around, to try to pick up things that was in the news and, talk about things. And many of you know I've got a playlist for things for Harry and Meghan. But when I did Harry and Meghan, it was only based on my core beliefs. And when they did things and demonstrated things that reinforced what I wanted to teach you. The other piece of this podcast was designed so that my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren would know who I am and in the future who I was and what my belief levels were, as well as some of my cooking recipes. So you will find, for those of you who are new, thank you for showing up, but you will find playlists. You're going to find a Harry and Meghan playlist. You're going to find a manifestation playlist. You're going to find a playlist that were about the authors that I talked to you about. And you're going to find a playlist for my cooking and gardening and all those kinds of things. So you decide exactly what it is that you want to listen to and follow on my channel. So definitely you don't have to listen to everything, which you don't do on other channels also. You listen to the things that resonate with you. And that's what I want to do. So finally, Spirit kept talking to me and telling me different things and leading me to different books. But it kept taking me back to my staples. And so to begin my rebirth for the umpteenth time, because I've gone off internet for a while, but it was only for a few weeks or a couple months, not a year or almost a year. I'm going back and I'm going to start with Florence Scovel Shinn. Florence Scovel Shinn is one of my favorite authors, and one of the ones that I will read in the future is The Game of Life and How to Play It. It's a book that I read once a year. No, not all in one setting, because I go, did I do this? Did I set that up? Did I actually do the things that the book said? So that's one of the reasons why I do that. And so I will be reading that for you. Now, what I'm going to start with, and then I have done in the past, and so it'll be each chapter, and I'll be talking about things. And I've already done several from this chapter, so just look for the Florence Scovel Shinn playlist. It's from the book, The Secret Door to Success, that she published in 1940. Yeah, the people I deal with have been around a while. And The Secret Door to Success is a series of addresses or speeches or talks that Mrs. Shinn did over time. I've done Brick Without Straw, The Inner Meaning of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and so The Watchman at the Gate. So I've done at least 3 or 4 of them, and I'm just looking in the book at the chapters. Anyway, so today I am going to talk about the section that says, and 5 of them were wise. And the 5 of them were wise is taken from Matthew, the 25th chapter. Now, please understand, for those of you who are new to me, that the Bible is an allegory, and it gives you so many good parables and stories that are significant today. They are definitely designed for today. And so their lessons will help us and help you in the future. So let me get started with, and the 5 of them were wise. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. Matthew 25, 2nd and 3rd verses. My subject is the parable of the wise and the foolish virgins. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. The parable teaches that true prayer means preparation. Christ Jesus said, "In all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive." That's Matthew 21:22. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Well, that sounds almost just like the last one, yeah? Well, this one came from Mark 11:24. Oh, those of you that are new to me, please understand, I do put in my little 2 cents as I'm reading to you, because sometimes some things need some clarification. In this parable, he shows that only those who have prepared for their good, in parentheses, thereby showing active faith, will bring the manifestation to pass. We might paraphrase the scriptures and say, when ye pray, believe ye have it. When ye pray, act as if you have already received. And I love this. Armchair faith or rocking chair faith will never move mountains. In the armchair, in the silence or meditation, you are filled with the wonder of this truth and feel that your faith will never waver. You know that the Lord is your shepherd. You shall never want. You feel that your God of plenty will wipe out all burdens of debt or limitations. Then you leave your armchair and step out into the arena of life. It is only what you do in the arena that counts. I will give you an illustration showing how the law works. For faith without action is dead. A man, one of my students, had a great desire to go abroad. He took the statement, "I give thanks for my divinely designed trip, divinely financed, under grace in a perfect way." He had very little money, but knowing the law of preparation, he bought a trunk. It was a very gay and happy trunk with a big red band around its waist. Whenever he looked at it, it gave him a realization of a trip. One day he seemed to feel his room moving. He felt the motion of a ship. He went to the window to breathe the fresh air, and it smelt like the aroma of the docks. With his inner ear, he heard the shriek of the seagull and the creaking of the gangplank. The trunk had commenced it to work. It had put him in the vibration of his trip. Soon after that, a large sum of money came to him, and he took the trip. He said afterwards that it was perfect in every detail. So he was feeling it real. He was using his, this is me talking now, he was using his imagination, fervently, like a little child. In the arena of life, we must keep ourselves tuned up to concert pitch. Are we acting from motives of fear or faith? Watch your motives with all diligence, for out of them are the issues of life. If your problem is a financial one, and it usually is, you must know how to wind yourself up financially and keep wound up by always acting your faith. The material attitude towards money is to trust in your salary, your income, and investments, which can shrink overnight. The spiritual attitude toward money is to trust in God for your supply. To keep your possessions, always realize that they are God in manifestation. What Allah has given cannot be diminished. Then, if one door shuts, another door immediately opens. Never voice lack or limitation, for by your words you are condemned. You combine with what you notice, and if you are always noticing failure and hard times, you will combine that failure and hard times. You must form the habit of living in the fourth dimension, the world of the wondrous. It is the world where you do not judge by appearances. You have trained your inner eye to see through failure into success, to see through sickness into health, to see through limitation into plenty. I will give you the land which your inner eye sees. I will give you the land which thou seest. The man who achieves success has the fixed idea of success. If it is founded on a rock of truth and rightness, it will stand. If not, it is built upon sand and washed into the sea, returning to its native nothingness. Only divine ideas can endure. Evil destroys it. Self, for it is a cross current against universal order, and the way of the transgressor is hard. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. The lamp symbolizes man's consciousness. The oil is what brings light or understanding. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept, and at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. The foolish virgins were without wisdom or understanding, which is oil for the consciousness. And when they were confronted with a serious situation, they had no way of handling it. And when they said to the wise, Give us of your oil, the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there is not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. That means that the foolish virgins could not receive more than was in their consciousness or what they were vibrating to. The man received the trip because it was in his consciousness as a reality. he believed that he had already received. As he prepared for the trip, he was taking oil for his lamps. With realization comes manifestation. The law of preparation works both ways. If you prepare for what you fear or don't want, you begin to attract it. David said, "The thing I feared has come upon me." We hear people say, "I must put away money in case of illness." They are deliberately preparing to be ill. Or, "I'm saving for a rainy day." The rainy day is sure to come at most inconvenient time. The divine idea for every man is plenty. Your barn should be full and your cup should flow over, but we must learn to ask aright. For example, take this statement: I call on the law of accumulation, that my supply comes from God, and now pours in and piles up under grace. This statement does not give any picture of stint or saving or sickness. It gives forth a dimensional feeling of abundance, leaving the channels to infinite intelligence. Every day you must make a choice. Will you be wise or foolish? Will you prepare for your good? Will you take the giant swing into faith? Or serve doubt and fear and bring no oil for your lamps? And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily, I say unto you, I know you not. You may feel that the foolish virgins paid very dearly for neglecting to bring oil for their lamps. But we are dealing with the law of karma, or the law of comeback. It has been called the Judgment Day, which people usually associate with the end of the world. Your judgment day comes, they say, in sevens: 7 hours, 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, or 7 years. It might even come in 7 minutes. Then you pay some karmic debt, the price for having violated spiritual law. You failed to trust God. You took no oil for your lamps. Every day, examine your consciousness and see just what you are preparing for. You are fearful of lack and hang on to every cent, thereby attracting more lack. Use what you have with wisdom, and it opens the way for more to come to you. In my book, Your Word is Your Wand, I tell about the magic purse. In the Arabian Nights, they tell the story of a man who had a magic purse. As money went out, immediately money appeared in it again. So I made the statement, my supply comes from God. I have the magic purse of the Spirit. It can never be depleted. As money goes out, immediately money comes in. It is always crammed, jammed with abundance, under grace, in perfect ways. This brings a vivid picture to mind. You are drawing on the bank of the imagination. A woman who did not have much money was afraid to pay any bills and see her bank account dwindle. It came to her with great conviction. I have the magic purse of the Spirit. It can never be depleted. As money goes out, immediately money comes in. She fearlessly paid her bills, and several large checks came to her that she did not expect. Watch and pray lest she enter into the temptation of preparing for something destructive instead of something constructive. I knew a woman who told me she always kept a long crepe veil handy in case of funerals. I said to her, you are a menace to your relatives and are preparing to hurry them off so that you can wear the veil. She destroyed it. Another woman who had no money decided to send her 2 daughters to college. Her husband scorned the idea and said, who will pay their tuition? I have no money for it. She replied, I know some unforeseen good will come to us. She kept on preparing her daughters for college. Her husband laughed heartily and told all their friends that his wife was sending the girls to college on some unforeseen good. A rich relative suddenly sent her a large sum of money. Some unforeseen good did arrive, for she had shown active faith. I asked what she had said to her husband when the check arrived. She replied, "Oh, I never antagonize George by telling him that I am in the right." So prepare for your unforeseen good. Let every thought and every act express your unwavering faith. Every event in your life is a crystallized idea, something you have invited through either fear or faith, something you have prepared for. So let us be wise and bring forth our lamp. And when we least expect it, we will reap the fruits of our faith. My lamps are now filled with the oil of faith and fulfillment. Florence Scovel Shinn. So be not in fear, but in faith. Prepare for the good in your life. Know that where your supply comes from, and ask for what you want. So I'm going to reread her statement. My supply comes from God. I have the magic purse of the Spirit. It can never be depleted. As money goes out, immediately money comes in. It is always crammed, jammed with abundance, under grace, in perfect ways. Thank you for being with me today. Be sure to like and subscribe or follow me on Twitter, Spoutable, Spreaker, LinkedIn. And as you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so.